Here's Brody Brazil.
So I guess in a roundabout way, it has actually been confirmed that all of the renderings and images we've seen of a potential A's ballpark in Las Vegas at the site of the Tropicana Hotel, everything we know about it visually has now been rendered worthless. Those 3 images that came out in late May on the very last day possible for the A's to submit language to the state of Nevada and their legislature for a public funding request, those 3 images mean nothing. And I'll get to how that was confirmed in just a second. It all comes from an article that was in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which I will not be sharing or amplifying in any sense here for a number of different reasons. That's a professional courtesy, and that's not what's going to happen here. But the piece from the Review-Journal says this: according to the A's, they're down to 2 design finalists for the A's Tropicana hotel site ballpark. Gensler is a company with Las Vegas offices. They've got prior experience with sports venues. And then there's the other option of a tandem between HTNB, who designed Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders, and Bjarke Ingels Group, right? You remember them. They were the company overseas, a European firm, which designed the concept for Howard Terminal. So either one of these 2 is going to be the company responsible for designing a ballpark, a potential ballpark at the Tropicana site in Las Vegas, which means that just going back to those renderings, and again, submitted at the very last moment possible. You think about it this way. If you or I were going to build a home or do some type of construction, and we needed to go to the bank to get some money, to borrow some money, to get a construction loan, we would have to come forward with literal blueprints and the exact plans spelled out, all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted. Here's exactly how we're going to do it. But apparently, in this case, the public funding request came with some language, no doubt, but only these 3 images, which are now confirmed to be nothing like what the A's might actually do in terms of building a stadium. Here's the quote from Brad Schrock, who is the A's director of design. More on him in just a second. He told the Review-Journal this, quote, "We told the groups, you saw the renderings in the newspaper, but wad those up for now. We are really encouraging them to think creatively about the different ways to solve the problem." The problem? The Tropicana hotel site is a problem? It will be fun to see what we get back. Couple things here. Number one, going back to those renderings and being released when they were and how they were to kind of, grease the wheels of SB 509. Here's our plans. Here's our concept. Here's what we're going to do. It's one thing that we all understand. Renderings are conceptual by nature. They're not blueprints. They're really not. But in this case, why was anything submitted if it's not actually going to be anything close? I mean, here it is literally from a representative here saying, we told the groups, the 2 groups in competition for the design job, you saw the renderings, wad those up for now. Don't do anything like that. Try and fix the problem. More on a couple of the problems in just a second, but the 9-acre issue is something I brought up months ago. And to some criticism even of, they'll figure it out. Yeah, they've got the right people for this. And maybe they do. Maybe this will be figured out, but it's already being identified as a problem. Speaking of renderings, did you ever see these for the Las Vegas ballpark? Fresh renderings. I mean, these look similar to what you saw released by the A's in late May, right? Do you know who made these? You know where these are from? Me. On an AI platform called Midjourney. You should check it out, by the way. You can do some pretty cool stuff on Midjourney. It's on a Discord server. You just request it to give you images of things. Fake things, real things. It's all AI, so I should say it's all not fake. Well, it is fake. It's a computer that came up with these. And my only request was, show me what a Las Vegas A's ballpark looks like seating 30,000 with a retractable roof. Now, look at the infield on the top left. Like, AI does not get this nearly right anytime, but Honestly, look what I made here for $10 a month on my subscription. Some of this stuff might as well have passed for what we saw in the other renderings. If they're not accurate and these aren't accurate, then what's the difference? And what are we doing here? Kind of feels like those renderings were pushed out and put out in a timely fashion to get things moving with the Nevada state legislature, as if maybe that was really the plan. And even looking at those renderings, they took up way too much space. I had plenty of criticisms about them back then. And I'm not just here to pat myself on the back because a lot of you saw that too. I think we're all agreeing and all understanding what we saw and what we were concerned about, what the red flags were. All of that is now literally confirmed from this piece in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. More from Brad Schrock, the A's director of design. Quote, "There are several goals that are super important about the design here, including creating the ballpark that has the greatest ability to feel like it's outdoors." I don't know that you want it to feel like it's outdoors when it's 114 like it has been the last couple days in Las Vegas, but I understand that. For a lot of reasons, this has to be an indoor ballpark. But for some other reasons, it's going to be very difficult to give it any type of outdoor feel, climate-wise, space-wise, when you're only on 9 acres and when the temperature is triple digits for most of the summer. Brad goes on here to say the real interesting problem about the Tropicana site, is that we have a footprint that's basically constrained within 9 acres. Traditionally, big retractable roofs, you move off of the footprint. And that's something else that I've been saying this entire time. Again, I promise you, I'm not making this to confirm what I've been saying all along. That just goes along with it. But here is now somebody on the inside of the design process literally calling the Tropicana site a problem. That's twice now that Brad Schrock has been quoted with talking about a problem and the problem to try and get around with this site. How big is the problem? Is it really insurmountable? You talked about Howard Terminal. I didn't hear too many problems other than acquiring the land and the legal part of it and the BCDC part of it, which all got confirmed by the EIR and the lawsuits that were rejected and went away, and the land approvals from the BCDC. On 55 acres, there really wasn't this space problem. But the Tropicana site has a problem. The footprint, constrained, 9 acres, all of this stuff, which, again, has been on the discussion here on this YouTube channel, now finally hearing it from a Las Vegas publication through the A's front office. The two design groups, this is from the newspaper's report, if that's what we're calling it, the two design groups will be in a competition of sorts that is set up to play out until about early November, when the preferred group will be chosen based on their 75% concept design of a Las Vegas stadium. Okay, so wait a second here. They're going to come up with a 75% concept, which again, renderings are close enough or they're on the same lines. But if they're only coming up with a 75% design, then let's go back to those original renderings. What were those? 25%? And again, just to the nature of you or I going for a construction loan, borrowing money to build something, we need to show exactly how we're going to do this. But in the case of this process, literally those worthless renderings were maybe enough to get lawmakers in Nevada to side with this project, to entice them enough. Those were the only visuals for this entire project. 3 images, that's it. So what does a 75% concept design look like? And what were the first ones? 25? Who knows? At that time, the A's will connect the groups with a construction management firm to analyze the designs they developed for constructability and cost. Constructability, it's a construction word, I guess, not a typical word, but I get it. Constructability. Can you actually build this, what you say you're going to do? It's one thing to design it. What's the constructability, the logistical ability to construct it? And also, most importantly, you've got all these grand ideas. What about the cost? And I'm telling you right now, the Las Vegas Sphere like doubled in cost over its time, and it's magnificent. If this ballpark is starting at $1.5 billion, what's it going to be in a couple years, inflation, and all of the elegant things that they're going to want to do? You're either, number one, cutting them out, or number two, having to find another way to pay for them in the hundreds of millions of extra dollars. After that analysis is complete, there will be a final presentation, and the preferred design firm will be chosen. Okay, look, I flustered, a little bit hot on this. It's just to the tune of something that I've been saying is an issue, is worth talking about, is a red flag, is a problem. Multiple problems here. And now through this piece put out by the Review Journal, I mean, it's being identified. Problems with this process. And yes, I get it. The main point, the whole headline of the article is that the A's are moving forward with two firms, and that's kind of where it's being led. But it shows you their timeline behind the scenes and how what we've seen originally and up to this point, all of the imagery, all the renderings, and what the Bally's Corporation has to do with this, none of that stuff, you could throw it all out the window. It wasn't even close. Those were worthless renderings. So I guess pretend like they didn't even exist. I know you're going to put some comments down below. Can't wait to see some of that. Also, thumbs up on this video since you made it here all the way to the end. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel so that I can definitely see you back here next time.